I need to be a millionaire by 18. And then my name is Alexis Medina. A lot of people know me by Acutzzz. You know, I'm a 16-year-old entrepreneur. I cut hair. I started cutting hair when I was 13 years old. I currently trade and I create content.
I'm honored to have Acutzzz. I met him through his brother Fernie. Fernie is my age. Shout out Fernie. And when I met Fernie, he was like, if you think I'm grinding, wait till you meet my brother. He was like, he wakes up at 3 a.m. He's 13, but at that moment, I didn't really like know who Acutzzz was, you know? And eventually I met Acutzzz. Well, not met, but I knew about Acutzzz like 2022. I believe that's when you started like posting more, right?
It was probably like 2024, honestly.
2024, but I think you had a page already.
Yeah. I wasn't actually posting content about myself. I was just being like every other regular barber, just posting haircuts.
And then that's when I was like, let me follow him, you know? And then that's when little by little you did start transitioning into the posting. So what made you want to post, and were you ever like scared like people are gonna clown me? Because you're still in high school, right?
Yeah. So
tell
look,
us about
honestly, I started posting, it was the beginning of 2023 or 2024, I'm not sure. I think it was 23. No, it was 24. It was the beginning of 2024. I was gonna do a giveaway because at the time I'm like, oh, how am I gonna get more clients? I'm gonna get more clients by doing giveaways and getting exposure. So I remember I had my little barber shop right there. Bernie had just started kind of cutting hair. Bernie's my brother, and he told me, he's like, oh, like, 'cause I was thinking of doing a giveaway like every other barber that is very unconfident. They just do a post. They put 3 haircut giveaway. Here are the rules. That was my first initial thought. But he's like, honestly, you should do a video about yourself. You know, just you actually talking to the camera and you showing the people and you actually saying the rules. So I remember it probably took us, honestly, we were probably there for like 40 minutes, you know? And there was shots that would come out, but I would maybe stutter. I was maybe too slow, and it wasn't perfect, you know. And at some point, I would keep telling Freddie, I'm like, fuck this shit, bro. Like I would just do the picture, and that fool was like, man, like you gotta do it now. Like we've been here for 30 minutes. Like, I still have I probably don't have all the videos, but you know, I still remember when I would check my phone, you'll see like 40 videos of like it's the same shit, just the same picture, same angle, just different clips. And honestly, at the beginning, you know, you're scared of what other people are gonna think. People are always gonna talk shit, bro. At the end of the day, and the only people, something I've learned over time by networking with all these people, the people that are gonna talk shit are gonna be the people that are below you. I've met millionaires, you know. I've met a lot of people, and all they tell me is like, bro, you're doing good. You know, you're young, you're pushing the content, you're making money. Fuck what people think. Every guy that has been above me, probably like 1 out of those 10 guys have talked shit. I don't give a fuck, you know. Shit, I'd rather listen to 9 big dogs than 1 little big dog that's just hating, you know. But yeah, bro, at the beginning, you know, you're always gonna think people are gonna talk shit, and they will talk shit. But that shit don't matter. You know, you're still making money. You're being yourself. You know what's wrong with that?
I know I did see that. I mean, I see quotes like that a lot. I'm not sure if you see them, and they say like those that are doing better than you are gonna tell you like good job. But those that are scared of doing their own thing, they're gonna come at you because they see that you're doing something you want.
Yeah.
So since they're like they lack like confidence, they're like, okay, let me attack Acutzzz since I can do what I do, you know?
No, yeah. And then honestly, we're living in 2025 now, and everything's just social media, you know? At the end of the day, the people that are talking shit are just the unconfident people, you know? People that don't believe in themselves, and when they talk shit, they feel good about themselves, you know? And that's a weak person, you know? You're just spreading negativity, and that makes them feel better about themselves, just talking shit about you. That's my opinion, you know?
So basically you already introduced yourself, right?
Yeah.
You know who Acutzzz is, Alexis Medina, and you're 16 years old. You said, right?
Yeah.
So how does it feel like now that you said that you've networked with many people, millionaires? Like how does that feel? Like what does that make you feel?
Honestly, I believe that age is just a number. You know, I've always lived that way. Not always, I'm not gonna lie. Obviously, when you grow up, you have the belief by the school system that once you turn 18, once after you graduate, you can do whatever you want. And in my opinion, it got to a point where I just stopped giving a fuck, you know? All right, people, like I could have been like every other kid my age, you know, after high school, you could become what you want, you could go to college. If you don't want to go to school, you don't have to go to school. And I believe that I started doing whatever I wanted when I changed my mindset. What was the question again?
Like what? Like how does it feel? Like being with other big dogs, like networking. Like how does that feel?
Honestly, I feel like that pushes you more. I have a couple of fellow friends, or I don't like calling them friends, they're like brothers to me, And at short, I've hanged out with them for like a week or two. I've lived with them at the same place and everything. That shit just inspires me, bro. These people are out here walking with 60K watches. They're just making money, and they're just locked in. All they do is make money, live their life, and I believe that when you hang around yourself with people that are doing better than you, that shit inspires you to do better. I've took multiple trips in my life, and half of these trips, or most of these trips, have been with people that are more successful than me. And when you're living with them, you see these people like they're always putting in the work. They have their fun or whatever. We go to this party, go to this party, but they're always on phone calls. They're always posting their content. They're always working, and that shit that pushes me to do better because I see this guy walking around with a 60K watch. Why can't I walk around with a 60K watch? There's no difference between me and him. And then all these millionaires, they always inspire me. They just tell you, I said earlier, just to keep pushing, you know?
I know, because I've seen you've been to Miami, Vegas too, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's at a young age, especially, that's a
Yeah.
lot. And then, so, like, what made you at a young age want to switch that mentality? Like, I'm gonna go kill it. Like, because I mean, how you said, many people at your age. I mean, at your age, I was in the soccer. Like, I wanted to become
Yeah.
a soccer player, like many people. And you're 16, and you said, okay, like, I want to make money. I want to become successful. Like, what flipped the switch?
Honestly, it was probably like when COVID was kind of like slowing down. My brother got into it first, and who you're hanging around with is like who you're basically gonna be. And I live with my brother. How am I not gonna be like my brother? People always say like your older brother is like your role model. Obviously, it's true. Why? Because you live with them, you look up to them. That's the person that it's either them or your father. If you don't have a father figure, your brother most likely. But yeah, I felt like my brother kind of inspired me. Always growing up, I always wanted to be like him, even the good, even the bad. He did drugs, I did drugs. He acted tough, I would act tough. He acted weak, I would act weak. Anything he did, I believed I was right. Why? Because I looked up to him. What made me flip the switch? It was when my brother started improving himself. He started getting more money. He started posting content. He started working out. Just try to start becoming a better version of himself. So it first started by listening to Andrew Tate. A lot of people are gonna, a lot of people are gonna talk bad about Andrew Tate, but in my opinion, and this is my opinion, I believe that he was the one that kind of like got it started for me. He started like cutting off the limiting beliefs I had in my head. He made me believe that I can be somebody better than who I believed I was, and I felt like who I listened to, and then from there I just started hanging around with people that were self-improving themselves, and from there I just felt like I kept growing.
Nah, yeah, that's amazing, bro. Because I mean, at your age, like I feel like you're killing it. But
Yeah.
like you don't need me to tell you that. Like you
Yeah, yeah,
know
yeah.
that.
No, yeah, yeah.
You look in the mirror and you say like, I'm a big dog.
Yeah.
And I mean, you're right. I mean, Fernie, he's a hell of a person. He's into working now. When I met him, he would always say like top G, top G, top G.
Yeah.
So I don't doubt that he impacted you a lot. So now that you've gotten that out of the way, it's like you've basically networked with others, right? You have experience. You're successful at a young age. So now, like, what would you tell those that look at you and would want to be like you? Especially whether it's barbering content, whether it's trading, like, what would you tell them?
Honestly, my best advice would honestly be consistency, because I felt like for probably like 7 or 8 months I was probably like super consistent. Like it's kind of like I forgot what's this the snowball effect. So once you get the snowball rolling, it keeps getting bigger and bigger. And then I felt like at some point in my life that snowball crashed for me, and that consistency just went down. Maybe I started lusting more, maybe I started doing more drugs, wherever it had to be, that snowball crashed. But I realized it, and I took impact in trying to get that snowball running back again, and I feel like I currently have that snowball running back again. Started creating more content again. I started getting back into trading. I started focusing more on myself. I started just trying to become the best version of myself.
Wonderful, bro. And one thing that I do admire about you too is, well, obviously, like just because you go to church doesn't mean anything. But you always make time for church. You always make sure to like spend quality family time, even though you're busy. Like you're a busy guy. Like, what does that mean to you, or like what impact do you feel that has, like making time for God, at church, your family, like those you love, even though you're busy, like what impact do you think that has, even though you're not always like the grind, like you have to take a little pause?
Um, your question here is like, what kind of impact does that have, or what you
Yeah,
mean?
like how does that feel? Like you make time for your family,
Mm.
your loved ones, friends, like God, church, like you
Yeah.
take a
So
break from your busy
yeah,
schedule.
yeah. So there, it's like I like learning from other people's mistakes. I had a couple close friends that maybe lost people who they really loved, and they always like they call me and they were like, "Yeah, bro, like fuck the money, you know. I always chase the money, but there's times in life where you just gotta let your ego down and go out there and just hug your dad, you know. Be a man and just hug your dad. Tell your mom you love her, you know." And he told me all this shit, all this lusting, all these girls. Like I still remember he was just telling me, he's like, all this for what now? Like, you know, I don't have this special person in my life. So I feel like that kind of like flipped it on me. So at some point, you know, everybody goes through that.
Yeah.
Not everybody's perfect, and I felt like I was just focused on the money. I wouldn't really go home. I wouldn't really see my parents, and now it's crazy because like now that I be starting to spend more time with my parents, I started going to church more. My parents even tell me they're like, damn, like it's crazy how I start seeing you now more. You know, even though I might live with them, I would just go there, sleep, wake up in the morning, and just head out because I believe that I was like, oh, I'm on my grind, I'm on my grind. But I feel like now that I reflect on it, I wasn't correct. You know, because life could just flip on you from day to night. You know, I have a lot of friends that have always told me, um, let me remember this part. It said,
Like is it along the lines like you'll regret like
no, I have the song. He said it in the song. He had a
oh
song. Like, give me a second. Um,
so he's like a singer?
no, he's not a singer. This is one of his corridos.
Oh okay.
Oh, right here. So one of my boys, he that's like kind of one of his philosophies that from day to night, like shit could just change, you know. So you could
Yeah.
just go from being up to being down, you know. So honestly, every day I feel like you just gotta make the best out of it. And something also I have been living by is like every day you get older, you know, that's one day gone. So don't try to waste no time, you know, because you're not gonna get that time
And
back, you know.
and then especially like since well, we're talking about money, like one thing the difference is time doesn't
Yeah,
come back. Money could,
yeah,
but the time
yeah,
like that you can't bring that back. Like there's
yeah,
only
no, yeah,
24 hours in a day.
yeah,
You will only be 16 once.
yeah,
Like you can never go back in time and say I'm sorry. Like
yeah,
give
yeah.
a hug to your dad. How you
No,
felt.
yeah, yeah. Spending time with your family, commit a lot to them, you know, have a huge impact to them. And something I feel like I always gotta live by is just being respectful to everybody. Something my dad always taught me. He's like, if you pull up to a party, if you pull up to a family dinner, if there's people that you don't like and you know that they don't like you, shake their hand, you know, say what's up to them. Why? Because that's just gonna trigger something in them. They're gonna be like, damn, this guy doesn't even fuck with me. He's over here saying what's up to me. Like it just fucks around with them. And you know, there's a lot of advice that my dad always tells me that I like taking knowledge of. You know, that's why lately I've been spending more time with my dad because at the end of the day I've been getting older and he's been getting older. And by the time if he ever passes away, you know, I might regret not spending that time with him. You know.
That's a good one. That hits. And since basically since you were talking about how like your brother is like in this social media world as well, like how does that feel like knowing that you and your brother like could do the same thing and hang out more because you guys are both interested in like the same hobbies. Not hobbies, but like the same interest, boys.
Yeah. So I really like that because I felt like having somebody like your brother that is in the same industry as you and that is after the same goal can be very like helpful, you know, because you literally have your brother that you guys are doing the same shit together, you know. If it comes to buying a camera, boom, the camera's worth 3K, 1.5, 1.5. And honestly, with my brother, bro, it's like after so much time that I feel like the content started getting us closer. Why? Because we started kind of like chasing the same, not chasing, but trying to have the same goals, you know, trying to become more known on the content, trying to get higher levels of money, trying to improve ourselves, you know, trying to improve ourselves physically. And then since we're on the same route, there's times where I feel like our bond has just gotten so strong. And for example, probably like 3 weeks ago, I'm not even gonna lie, we're at the casino. We do be going to the casino, you know?
Yeah, that's good.
Shit, bro, you know, like,
Hey, you gotta have your fun too,
shit, bro, you know? I'm not even gonna lie, I'll just keep it straight up. And that day I had pulled up, I'm pretty sure he was down like 200. I had pulled up, I was probably up, like 100. And then, I think he, like, we were probably in like an hour. He was down 400, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm out. You know, fuck this shit." I was probably up 240, and I was like, "Cool, I'm out too." And honestly, I gave him the 240. Why? Because I don't give a fuck. You know, I'd rather my brother be down 160 than me be up 140. You know, I'd rather, because I'm breaking even. I'm not losing money. You know.
It was profit.
Yeah, it was profit. You know, the 240 were profit. So I don't mind giving it to him. And it's the small things like that build our relationship. So like, there's been times where I was down like 300 and he was up like 140 and we were still playing. And he gave me an extra 100 because I was already out of funds. I was about to go back to the cashier and get some more funds. He gave me 100 to play with, and then he had like 340, but he had a 40 profit. So now I'm still down 200, but now I have 100 to play with. That are the bank's money. So I mean that is the casino's money.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it's shit like that kind of builds your bond with your brother. And there's been a lot of times where even in the negative situations, you know, we have bad like interactions with other people, and you know, I'm always there for my brother, and I believe that he will always be there for me too, you know?
And it's like the best things, because you know how you said you look up to Andrew Tate?
Yeah.
He even has his brother, and they're both like in the same, you know, like they both sit down together with their watches, like we're in the same industry.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I've seen, like there's nothing like having your brother and then both of you could kill it, you know?
Yeah.
Because you could go alone, but you have someone with you, man. It's 10 times easier.
Yeah, it's 10 times.
And I feel like it does bring your bond closer, because, I mean, it's a 5-age gap, right?
Yeah.
So, like, let's say you guys didn't do none of this, like, or he did, but you did it. I mean, he could leave the house and you're going to stay because you're not doing the same thing.
Yeah.
But now, since you guys are both doing the same thing, well, you guys could both kick it, you know? Like, it's an excuse in a way to hang out. You know?
Yeah.
No, so that's dope.
Yeah, because there's been, like, a lot of trips, like, Miami trips, I go with my brother. Mexico trips, I go with my brother. Vegas trips, I go with my brother. And he's kind of touching a different industry now. He's reaching more into the music industry. Music.
Like promotions and like managing. Huh?
Yeah, music and running events. So like sometimes he brings me along. You know, he opens doors for me. I get in backstage to these events. Why? Because of him. Or even when we go to Vegas, we get open to these doors. You know, we're out here with these influencers, with these famous people. Why? Because of my connections. So we're kind of like the same person. You know, we open each other's doors, and since we're always together, people are like, they're like, oh, Acutzzz, oh, he's most likely gonna come with his brother. Plus
or
two,
vice
you know?
versa, huh?
Yeah.
Bernie, he's gonna
come with his brother. So we just put each other on. You know, we just help each other grow. You know,
and that's why I always call them the Medina bros. The Medina bros, Medina bros. You know, and I feel like you have made a name for yourself, because when Clave came to the Fox Theater in Salinas, I showed up. And you weren't there. I only saw Fernie.
Yeah, Fernie was there.
And people were like, oh look, that's Fernie. Do you think Acutzzz is here? is here? And I was in line, and I was like, man, like these guys don't know who I am. Like they don't know that I know Acutzzz, but like that's crazy. Like they were happy to think that you were gonna be there, you know?
Yeah.
And I mean, people from Salinas, and you're from Salinas, so you know, like just think like how they see you, you know?
No, and even this weekend, my brother was telling me like. It was Saturday. He had an event. Well, he didn't have an event, but he showed up to an event to network. And I didn't show up honestly because I was working. But he went with his significant other, so it worked out. He wasn't alone. Yeah, he wasn't alone. And he called me after the event. He's like, "Yeah, bro, this kid came up to me asking me for a picture." And I mean, all these people probably like once a week, kids ask us for pictures or whatever. But this fool was like, "Oh, is Acutzzz here? Is Acutzzz here?" And my brother's like, "Nah, he's not here." He's like, "Oh, can you tell him?" Like I said hi and shit. And I'm like, damn, they out here looking for me and shit. But yeah, bro, it's nice. Fucking the social media. Honestly, when a lot of people tell me that I inspire them, I'm like, damn, bro, that's crazy as fuck. Cause I'm just doing me. I'm just living life. I didn't really think I would inspire anybody, but this content or my lifestyle might inspire others, and that's better. It keeps me pushing. I want to do better things. Why? So I can inspire them to do bigger things.
I feel like you probably don't feel it because, like you said, you're just doing you. Like, the only difference is you're capturing those moments, you know?
Yeah.
But what I've learned, like, from social media is that, because I tried doing it too. I'm trying. And I've learned how, like, you're basically being vulnerable to the camera, you know? Like, you're allowing others to see a side of you that they have no clue they would see, you know?
Yeah.
So now you see, like, others see you and they're like, yeah, this guy's not perfect, but he's trying, and maybe I could do the same too, you know? So I feel like that's a big one.
It's like giving people hope, for them to do it.
You literally give them hope, honestly. But you don't realize it because, you're in your own world. Like, you're doing you, you know? Like, it's not like you're acting in the camera. Then, like, those videos that say, Oh, are you recording? All right, then they swap
Yeah.
their foods and like they eat something else, you know.
Yeah,
You're just
like
recording you, you know.
yeah, and honestly, that's basically like authenticity, you know,
Yeah.
just being yourself. And there's times in life where I kind of do it for the camera, and I'm being honest, I don't give a fuck, you know. And but lately I've been trying to switch it more to this is just me, you know.
Yeah.
You know how I said we go to the casino, and I don't mind saying it. Why? Because that's me, you know. I don't mind showing. Their weaknesses. At the end of the day, you gotta keep it real with yourself. Their weaknesses, their addictions, but when you realize it, you know, you start slowing down. Honestly, we were going to a casino for probably like a month. But when we realized it, you know, like honestly, this is not bringing us more money. It might be bringing us more joy. You know, it is pretty fun. I'm not even gonna lie. But all right, you know, at the end of the day, we ask everybody around that table, like, are you up over time or are you down? Everybody's gonna say down. All right, cool. We get our joy. All right, we start realizing, all right, this is not gonna bring us more money. This is just like temporary. There's one word. There's one word.
Satisfaction.
No, it's
Is it like
pleasure.
pleasure?
Yeah, it's pleasure. So just temporary pleasure. So once you realize, once you see your weaknesses and you take action towards your weaknesses, that's how you know you're growing and you're improving.
So a big question I want to ask you. I mean, you're still young, but like,
Yeah.
where do you see yourself in a couple of years? Like, how would your future look like based on what you're doing now? Like, what do you like? Where do you think like you see yourself, or like how far do you feel you could get, or where do you want to get?
5 years. In 5 years, I will be 21. Honestly,
Then you'll be mine.
yeah. Honestly, in 5 years, I see myself owning multiple real estate properties. You know, that's kind of like my goal. Duplexes, all of that. Definitely be more jacked in my body. There's a lot of things for sure. Having a kid, you know, I feel like I already lived. Honestly, like I lived a crazy life. You know, parties. I'm not gonna lie, drugs. Everything you could think, not everything you could think of, you know, but traveled a little bit. I've had a little bit of taste of everything, you know, and there's still more to life. But by 21, by 5 years, I feel like I should have a kid. Definitely millionaire. I need to be a millionaire by 18, and then definitely a watch collection. I've been getting more into watches, and probably this week or next week, I'm gonna get my first Rolex. I want a little two tone. I've been looking at some Rolexes, and then yeah, definitely being way bigger than who I am right now, having more of a name for myself, being more educated in life, having my investments grown, you know, just becoming a better version of myself.
And then especially because what's that saying? I think you captioned that one time on your post. Play hard, or how is it?
Play, no, it's work hard, play
Work
hard.
hard, play
Yeah,
hard. There we go. Work
yeah,
hard,
yeah,
play hard. That's quite some time, 5 years, but I'm pretty sure you'll get
no,
there,
yeah,
bro.
for
Like,
sure, easily.
I'm pretty sure you'll get there. So, like, let's say 5 years from now, you see this on Instagram. You're how much do you have of a following?
I think right now I have 5,214.
So in 5 years, how far do you think you're in?
In 5 years, definitely 300K, 400K.
Obviously, I mean, there's no like rush, you know.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like sometimes people create their own stress because they say, "Oh, by this I should have this," but obviously some things take time, you know, or you just can't
Yeah.
control the timing, you know. But
Yeah.
definitely, I'm pretty sure you won't be at 5K though.
No, yeah, for sure.
For sure.
Yeah,
And hey, who knows? Even me, Andrew Tate, huh?
yeah.
Well, honestly, brother, a pleasure having you, bro.
Yeah, appreciate it, bro.
Hit this guy up on IG. Where can they find you?
Acutzzz with 3 Z's, and then you can find me on everywhere, you know, TikTok.
And
Instagram.
it's the same username, right?
Yeah,
It's the
yeah.
same.
I think TikTok has 2 Z's, but yeah, you can find me on YouTube. I have a couple YouTube videos of us getting back to the homeless and doing all of that. But yeah,
Oh yeah, the homeless. How does that feel? Like you use what you earn to give back. Like, and I mean, and I ask this because many people could say, "Oh, you're doing it for the camera," but
Yeah.
like, how does this feel? Like giving back to the homeless.
so honestly, this feels very good. You know, being at a young age, giving back to the people in my city, the city I grew up in, and the people say, "Oh, like why do you record it? This and that." Half of those people are never going to do it in their life. So I don't even know, first of all, why they're saying that. Secondly, is to show other people, you know, that might inspire other people to do the same. When I first did it, me and my brother were trying to raise funds. The first time we did it, we probably spent like 800. And we asked a couple people, like, "Oh, you guys are trying to put some money in?" Nobody, everybody's like, "Yeah, I'll send you some money. Yeah, I'll pull up." Nobody pulled up. Probably two guys. One helped us do security, and one he just pulled up just to help out, give out the pizzas. By like the third, fourth time, bro, we had other businesses. Maybe they were trying to get some hype out of it, but at the end of the day, they still gave out of their pocket to help out the homeless, and that's all that matters. I felt like if we would have never recorded it, we would have never had more money from other people to be able to
Yeah,
give
like
to those
more
homeless.
people come in and
Yeah,
help.
yeah.
So let's say if it was 800, this could have been twice as much.
Yeah. Why? Because of the camera. If we would have never recorded it, that's one of the reasons why we record stuff like that.
Yeah, but honestly, I admire you, bro. Like,
Yeah,
I mean it, bro, and I'm a strong believer that you get what you give. So
yeah,
I'm pretty sure either now or the Rolex, but I'm pretty sure you'll get more than what you gave, bro.
Yeah, I like saying it like whatever you give to the world, you receive.
Yeah.
So if you give bad energy, if you give, you're just gonna receive bad energy.
Well, honest, bro, this time for real, a pleasure.